and welcome back to Discovering the Bible podcast. I'm Sarah Thomas, and with me, as always, is our wonderful Pastor Holly Howard.
You overdo it every time.
I don't know how to not. You know me. So we are so excited. It's fall, y'all, around here right now. If you're watching it when it first comes out, we are having the best time in fall. COVID can't keep us down.
No, it
Nothing
cannot.
is stopping us from partying it up here.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited to get back into recording another podcast. We are in the 40 days in the Word. She's going to show her book.
Check it out, guys. This is what we're doing as a church right now. 40 Days in the Word by Rick Warren. Oh, my. Oh, my. Love it.
We are loving it. And so we're going to dive back into this, and we're going to learn some more about how to study the words. If maybe there's a new method that we're going to talk about today.
We are.
See, there we go. And so I'm really excited to hear what she has for us today. So let's get started, Holly. What is today's?
Yes. Okay. We are going to talk today about the picture it method of Bible study. This one is, so far, at least out of our small group, this has been everyone's favorite method, the picture it method.
I'm excited.
So we're going to give it a whirl today, and we're going to focus today on Mark 4:35 through 41, and we're going to use the picture it method. What's the picture it method? It's simply putting yourself in the shoes of the characters in the story. And you're trying to, what would it feel like? What would I do if I were in that situation? So you just kind of picture yourself in that setting. And so you say in whatever passage you're reading, if I am a disciple, I'm going to picture myself. I'm going to be the disciple in this passage of Scripture. I'm going to be the man that was healed in this passage of Scripture, or I'm going to be the Pharisee in this passage. And you picture it and put yourself in the story. So here we go. Here's what we're going to do it, and we're just going to talk this out. So this was out of day 10. Out of the devotional. So the passage is Mark 4:35 through 41. So I'm going to read it first, and then we're going to picture it together. I'm going to put Sarah on the spot a lot today. It's going to be really funny. So this is what it says. On that day, when evening came, he, that's Jesus, said to them, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he got up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Hush, be still." And the wind died down, and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They became very much afraid and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Now, if you were sitting in your house and you're doing your devotional in your prayer closet or wherever you spend your time with Jesus and with the Lord, you would read over this several times slowly and try to just, and then begin to picture yourself as each of the characters. So first I want us to be a disciple. I'm going to put myself in each of the characters' positions, and I'm going to be a disciple. So how would I think, and how would I act, how would I feel as a disciple?
Right.
So I'm going to say first, before I put Sarah on the spot, here's what I kind of thought as if I'm a disciple, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it would never occur to me as the disciple. One of the things Jesus said to them is, okay, why are you afraid? I'm thinking as I'm a disciple in this, it's never going to occur to me to have gotten up and rebuked the waves, Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, who thinks like that?
No.
Who says, "Oh, I know, I'm going to get up and rebuke the wind and the wave"? I would be so astonished that Jesus did that.
Right.
I would also, if I'm a disciple, I'm sitting here and I'm probably thinking, how are you sleeping through this? I'm bailing water, okay?
Right.
And we're all the disciples, I'm bailing water out of the boat. We're sinking. It's a fierce gale. It's a fierce wind, and I'm just trying to fix this myself.
Right.
And I'm trying to like keep from sinking and keep from going under. And so I'm thinking, how are you asleep?
Right.
Jesus, how are you asleep? So I know I would have been the one acting out in the natural as a disciple. I totally relate more to the disciple, not to Jesus in this.
Definitely. Yeah.
I would be bailing the water out. I would be astonished that he wants me to speak to the wind and the wave. I would, because I wouldn't think that I would think like that. And I would kind of probably be offended that I'm sitting here dying and we're about to die and you're laying down asleep. Why are you sleeping?
Yeah.
So that's me, and that's where I'm at with, I just hit my microphone really hard. I'm really sorry, y'all. That just went poof in your ears. So that's where I'm a disciple. Now, Sarah, you.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, the sun's setting, everything had been going good, it's a calm ride, and then all of a sudden you get hit by this strong wave. I'm hitting the deck. Like, I'm laying down, I'm panicking. I'm definitely not one of those people to be progressive, to like, let's get the water out. I'm like, well, I guess we're sinking. So for me, I would definitely relate more to being a disciple, just wondering like, okay, here's Jesus sleeping, and here I am in my natural, I'd immediately be afraid, because that's just who I am. So I'd probably be the one just like laying there on the deck, crying out, yelling for Jesus, like, dude, what are you doing?
Totally get there on the crying out and yelling, screaming, crying, yes.
I'd be crying, I'd be on the ground of the boat, just like holding on to whatever I can.
Basket case,
yeah,
yes,
Holly
we're
would be
dying.
like, get up, we gotta get this done.
Come on, you ain't got time to lay down. Get up, we gotta bail the water.
I ain't moving nothing. Someone else can get Jesus, I'm too afraid to. So that would be me, easily.
Yeah. So how about you? I mean, can you relate to the disciple in this, or can you more relate? Who do you more relate to Jesus in this? So let's picture us as Jesus. Oh, this is going to be fun. So I picture myself as Jesus, and I take the one thing that he says. He says, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Okay, he's asleep in a hurricane. This is not a little kind of, waves. I don't know about you, but have you ever been on a boat when the waves got really rough? I have. We were in Miami. Ooh. And we had been, not Miami, the Keys. We had gone down to stay with Dallas's cousin Raymond, and we're down in the Keys, and all of a sudden, while we're out on the boat, the waves in the ocean down there just start to get ridiculously strong.
That's scary.
And it's just kind of like what they would experience, and I'm talking like Raymond gets to the point where, he starts like telling everybody, shut up, sit down and shut up. He's so stressed because he's trying to drive the boat. And I'm not kidding. This boat is, the nose of the boat is going down and under the waves.
Oh gosh.
And I'm praying, we're terrified. Because we're in the middle of the ocean. They just started picking up suddenly in this one section where we had driven out to. And it was rocking the boat. People started vomiting and throwing up over the side of the boat because it was so turbulent. We were getting seasick. So now this was just some really rough waves that were really big, and they were taking the nose of the boat down, like really down. And so what the disciples experienced was even worse. Oh. Because when it says a gale force of a wind, if you research that out, it's actually talking about almost like being in the middle of a hurricane. Oh. What was that movie where they're trying to go up the waves and come back down? In the middle of a hurricane. I can't think of the name of it. And anyway, and it's just like the movie. They show these huge waves coming down and crashing, and ships will roll and stuff. This is kind of like a scenario. They're in a hurricane, so I'm picturing myself as Jesus, and I'm thinking this is what Jesus is probably thinking. I told you, let's go over to the other side. And my word is sure, and I've already taught you, I've been with you, I've been showing you miracles. I mean, we just did a miracle before we got into the boat. I've been showing you all these miracles. I've been teaching you the kingdom. I said, and my words never fail, let's go over to the other side. So if I said, let's go over to the other side, I meant that's what's going to happen. And so I'm not sure why you don't know by now, my words never fail. If I said, let's go over, we're going to get over there.
Wow.
And then I'm probably thinking, this is Jesus. Jesus is probably going, why can they not be sleeping? If it was a concern to me that there's something to be afraid of, don't you think I would be awake and doing something about it? So why are you concerned? If I have peace in a storm, and I've taught you and told you my word, why don't you have peace in the storm? And then I'm thinking that if I'm Jesus, he's probably then kind of offended at this, and he's probably thinking this. Why do you doubt me?
Wow.
Why are you doubting my word? I've shown you miracles. I've performed miracles. I've been with you. Haven't you seen me do the kingdom? Haven't you gotten it by now? Why are you so thick-headed? If I said it, you're supposed to believe it because I never fail. My Father, I only do what my Father sees. I mean, this is probably what Jesus is thinking. And then if I'm also picturing myself as Jesus, this is what I wrote. What would it be like to have perfect peace, to sleep through a hurricane like it isn't even there?
Yeah. Wow.
So picture it as Jesus. He's offended that they don't believe him. He's can't fathom why they haven't gotten it yet. He's performed so many miracles. So you picture yourself as Jesus.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the same, length as you. As I don't know if I'm definitely offended that I've been with these people as much as I have. Been teaching them my character, been teaching, what I say is truth. And they're going against me almost in a way by not trusting that I had the best interests at heart to get them to that other side. And like you said, they literally just experienced him work miracles before they got in the boat. And that is just, it's just so true to human character. Like, you can see something happen and then immediately the next circumstance happens and you're like, oh, this is it. And so that's me as Jesus, is I'd be offended that they're not trusting in me and what I've set out to do. So that's how I would feel.
Yeah. So kind of brings this whole passage to a whole other light, doesn't it? So then we take ourselves and we be the people in the other boats, because verse 36, we can't forget that there were other boats. It says, leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him.
Wow.
So there's more than one boat bailing out. There's more than just the disciples' boats. There's other people following Jesus and trying to get over to the other side, and the storm is coming against them. And you know what I thought is, first of all, I thought, wow, I feel like this is the church in the pandemic we're in. I was thinking through this and I thought, man, I feel like God, this is the application part, by the way. I'm kind of jumping ahead just a little bit, but I felt like, Lord, our boat's sinking as a church. So many churches are sinking in the middle of this COVID storm. Yeah. Why are you still asleep?
Wow.
We're all trying to bail the water out of our sinking ships. COVID is sinking churches, and there's many percentages out there and saying, I forget what it is, a large number of churches they're not going to make it through this. Yeah. They're not going to survive the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. And so that was just one thought. But if I'm supposed to put myself in the other boats, the question is have I ever been caught up in someone else's storm? It wasn't just my storm, but then I'm caught up in somebody else's storm too.
Wow.
Has that ever happened to me? A lot. So yeah, I know, a lot. How many times have we been caught up in the middle of somebody else's storm and problems?
Yep.
So apply it. Here's what I would want to ask you. Have you ever felt like Jesus didn't care you were perishing? Have you ever felt like, why are you sleeping? Where are you, God? I'm sinking.
Yeah.
My ship is going down. There's a storm in my life, and I feel like you don't even care.
Wow.
That had to have been what the disciples felt like. I mean, they're bailing out water, right? And he's laying there sleeping. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in the middle of a struggle, in the middle of a storm, and you feel like Jesus is just sitting on the sidelines watching me fail, watching that problem it just get worse, watching me struggle. I'm in the middle of the worst crisis of faith of my life, and I feel like he's asleep. I'm praying, and he's not answering. I'm praying, and he doesn't hear me. Like I said, in this, for my application, I relate more to the disciples.
Yeah.
That's where and that's where I see, God, we're sinking. When are you going to wake up? Yeah. When are you going to stop sleeping? When are you going to hear me, God? Have you ever been there? Have you ever felt like that in a storm?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just especially with this COVID thing, you know, there's a lot going on with my family right now. There's a lot going on with me personally, and I've definitely been there, not just recently, but, you know, my whole life. There's definitely been moments where I'm just like, you know, you pray and you talk to people and you believe and you're like, it's going to happen. And then, you know, it just keeps happening. And you're like, God, hey, like, I'm still here. Where are you? Yeah. You know, like I've done everything I know to do, and I prayed, and you're still not. Well, obviously he is, but you think like he's not there. He's asleep, and so I think we've all been there in some form or another.
Yeah, I've been praying for our church. If you're listening and you're not part of the Bridge of Hope family, number one, we'd love to welcome you to be a part of what we're doing. But I have prayed just over the church situation. I mean, we've been homeless, and we're floating around without a place to really call our own, and we've been waiting and praying and for an open door, searching, looking for somewhere to rent, somewhere to go, something, anything. We're beggars aren't choosers, right? Yeah. And doors don't open, and it's just been this long time of just being homeless, and I have felt like, God, why are you sleeping? Why aren't you doing something? And that's just the raw emotion of where I've been, is in with how this passage kind of hit me with being the disciple and relating. But then when I go back to being Jesus, here's the thing. You and I have to remember that no matter what we're going through, no matter what we're facing, Jesus' words will not and cannot fail.
Right.
First of all, he said, let's go over to the other side. So I think he's the one that we know that moved us, had us sell our building. And I know that we've been following the steps of the Lord. And then there's his word in the personal situations with my family members that I'm believing God for to turn some things around in my family. And I have to go back to his word and know that, okay, your word doesn't fail, no matter how much it looks and appears like the boat is sinking. The other thing I have to think about is I've got to stop trying to bail all the water out. I'm trying to come up with structures and systems and what can we do in the church to build momentum, and I'm trying to fix things with my kids and fix things with my family. I'm the one bailing things out myself, and I'm trying to fix it. I can't fix anything. I can't be the Holy Spirit in anybody's life. I can't be the Holy Spirit in our church.
Right.
And I had to tell the Lord, okay, if it sinks, it sinks. But I can't fix it. Who am I to think I can fix it? In my own natural abilities, that's where I realized I'm failing. That's where I was missing it. I'm trying to bail the water out myself. I'm trying to fix this myself. Instead of going to the Word, declaring the Scriptures, praying and giving it to God, leaving it at God, doing that petition, instead of giving it to him and then resting in the peace and trusting in faith that God's got this, and then using the kingdom that he gave me. It's like he said, I've taught you how to do this. I've given you the kingdom. I've taught you what to do. I feel like Jesus says, I'm asleep in the boat because I'm waiting for you to step up and do what I've taught you to do. Wow. I've already given you the keys of the kingdom. I've already shown you how to walk in faith. I've modeled this to you just like he did to his disciples. I've been showing this to you. It's time for you to step up and you to do something. You have the authority. You have the word inside of you. You have it to speak peace to the storm. Wow. To rebuke the winds and the waves. You've got that authority. And so for me, I have to get up and act out, put actions to my faith, be a doer of the word and not a hearer only in my situation, and give it to the Lord and then walk it out by faith. And it's like I feel like he's asleep in the stern of the boat in the middle of the storm because he's waiting for us to learn. It's time for you to step up. I told you that you would do greater things than I would if you only believe. And he's waiting for us to act like him.
Yeah.
So that's how I apply it. So if you feel like you're struggling and you're hurting, you feel like God is not listening and he's not there and he's not hearing your prayers, let me tell you something, he is.
Yeah.
It's the devil that tries to get you into that place where you're asking like, God, why are you letting me sink? God, why aren't you hearing my prayers? God, why aren't you doing this? God, why have you left me? Why are the heavens brass? God, why are you asleep while I'm sinking? Why don't you care? That's the devil. That's Satan. And he's lying to you and trying to make you think that Jesus doesn't care, because at the end of the day in this story, when they cried out to Jesus, they tried to fix it themselves long enough, and they finally got to the point where they cried out. He got up and he saved them. Yep. And he taught them once again, and he showed them. So he will not leave us and he won't forsake us. Nope.
Wow. That is... She was telling me before that this was going to be so good, and it so is. It's such a, a relatable place where everyone's at right now, because I feel like you can go anywhere, and especially if you're a Christian, it's like, is God asleep? Like, what's going on? And so this is such a wonderful way to take this and apply it to your life today. And so definitely share this on your social media pages and with someone that needs hope today. Yeah. They need hope. Everyone is feeling, kind of like a disciple in a rocky boat right now. And so definitely share it out to everyone that you are friends with on your social. Text it to someone, tell them they can listen to it, watch it on YouTube while they're cooking their porch pies this week. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If,
pecan pies are coming up, y'all.
Yeah. So definitely stay tuned. Please check us out at thebridgecincy.com. We have, if you're watching it during the time that it was originally recorded, we have so much going on for our fall y'all season. Mm-hmm. And I would have another 30 minutes to talk about everything we're doing.
But we don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that. So go check that out at thebridgecincy.com. We'll link once again the Rick Warren 40 Days in the Word workbook in the description below for you.
And I'll put in this little blurb here too that, maybe you don't have the workbook, you can do at YouVersion. He's got a free 40 Days in the Word devotional, and you can go to YouVersion and look up 40 Days in the Word, Rick Warren, search that in YouVersion, and you can go ahead and start now by using those wonderful short little devotionals.
Yeah, we'll put that in there as well for you if you don't know how to access that. So thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we will see you real soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.